So with all these expensive airliners being released for Microsoft Flight Simulator, it can be pretty difficult to decide what one to buy, with some of them costing up to 70 UK pounds each. Most people, including me, cannot afford to buy every single one of them. In today's video, I'll be giving you a rough comparison of airliners that have been released for Microsoft Flight Sim, of payware airliners, I should say. Airliners that are upcoming, and giving some freeware alternatives at the end. I'm going to set myself a bit of a challenge. The 4 payware airliners I'll be talking about, the MD-80, the PMDG 737-700, the JustFlight BAe 146, and the Fenix A320ceo, will all receive 1 minute of video attention each, meaning I hopefully don't keep you here too long and also don't waffle. It's a bit of a challenge, we'll see how it goes, stay tuned for that. If you're new around here, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. I keep you up to date with all things Microsoft Flight Simulator, aviation and more. But now, without further delay, let's get right into it. Okay, so we'll start off with the Fly the Mad Dog MD-80. Let's get a clock in the corner, set it to 1 minute, let's go. So the Fly the Mad Dog MD-80 is the most expensive airliner in this list that has been released. It is of course a vintage airliner. It comes in at a price of $95 US, which converted at the time of filming is 77 UK pounds. I personally have not flown it myself, but the reviews seem to be pretty good. This is a study level airliner that requires a lot of attention and a lot of learning. It looks very nice. The sounds are meant to be a bit of a letdown in some cases, with that being a negative of the product apparently. But the flight model is meant to be pretty good and system depth is very high. This certainly is an airliner for those of you who like vintage planes. It's not accessible to everyone because of course it's not your modern day Airbus. But if you like flying old gas guzzling aeroplanes, this one is for you. As I said, it's the most expensive one on the list that's been released, so just bear that in mind when I talk about the other ones. There's a minute gone, hopefully, anyway. There will be a comparison at the end, so they are going to get a bit more talking about than just a minute. But let's move on to our next aircraft now. So the PMDG 737-700. This comes in for a bit of a cheaper price at $75 US or 60 UK pounds. Now please be aware, PMDG are releasing many different variants of this aircraft, aside from the already released 700 variant. That's going to be the 800 variant, which is more common in real life, the 600 variant, and the 900 variant. All of these will vary in price, but the one I'll be talking about now is the 700 variant, so let's start the clock on that one. Now this plane is awesome. I have enjoyed every single minute with it. It is beautiful. Now I'm not really comparing it to the MD-80 because I haven't flown that one, but from the videos of the MD-80 I've seen, the PMDG 737 does beat it slightly in my opinion anyway, especially when you factor in the slightly cheaper price. Now there are a few shortfalls with the PMDG 737-700, including a bit of an interesting yoke that seems to be going at about 5 FPS. But aside from that, it really is a dream to fly. Autopilot especially is fantastic. Plenty of liveries and a few variants included, such as the cargo or private jet variant. PMDG have clearly put a lot of TLC into this wonderful aircraft. I have enjoyed every second of it. Sounds are a true highlight here. So there's the minute gone on the PMDG 737-700. I'll briefly talk about the other variants. The 600 variant, which is a shorter version, will be coming down the line, 6 weeks down the line, for approximately $50 US. So it's a bit cheaper, so you might want to wait for that one if you're not willing to pay $70 US for the 700 variant. If you want to wait a bit longer, 12 weeks from now, you can get the most popular 737-800 variant. Now, one thing I'd say about PMDG, I'm not a big fan of their pricing strategy. Compared to previous simulators, PMDG are making you pay for every single variant, as opposed to offering a bundle. This means while you may get a cheaper product initially, if you want to get a different variant, you're going to have to end up paying double, so just bear that in mind. If you're on a budget, then maybe don't get the 700 now, maybe wait until you get the variant you want. I think that's enough there. Now we move over to the JustFlight BAe 146. Now this is the cheapest released one on the list, coming in for £50 UK or $61 US on the JustFlight website. Let's start the clock now as I talk about it. This is a vintage British airliner, affectionately known as the Jumbolino. It's got 4 tiny engines and is a pretty small plane, carrying around 70 passengers. Most used at airports like London City, this aircraft has got a personality and I love flying it. It's certainly unique. Now with the BAe 146, I'd say it's the best value for money. You're paying 50 quid, not just for a cargo and passenger variant like you get with the 737-700, but you're also getting actually different aircraft variants. You're getting the 100, 200 and 300, meaning if you're looking for best value for money, this one is for you. Not all buttons work, and I wouldn't say it's a study level as either the MD-80 or 737-700. Take the circuit breakers for example, they do not work in this aircraft, although that's pretty irrelevant for most people, but it's something to bear in mind. Overall, this aircraft's nice and the best value for one and the best value for money on the list, I'd say. Now moving over to the only unreleased airliner, we're talking about the Fenix A320ceo. This is meant to be being released soon, and it's meant to basically reinvent what it means to be a study level airliner. Let's start the clock. So the Fenix A320ceo is the current engine option of the A320. If you've flown the fly-by-wire A320NX, this is worlds apart, with incredible levels of detail. Just to give you one example off the top of my head, you change the livery, and inside the cockpit the kind of type of instruments will change. Differences between analog or digital. Of course the A320ceo had an analog reserve artificial horizon, but of course more modern Airbus aircraft just have another digital one to back up. I'm not going to dwell on that point. This is a really high spec aircraft. Texturing looks great, modelling looks great. Best thing is you can get it for £50 UK. The pricing was released last night, meaning that release isn't too far away, but for £50 UK that puts it joint first in terms of price on this list, which could be great value for money. We'll just have to wait and see on this one. It looks great though. The caveat is, of course, we've got the A320NX on the side, so I'm sure not as many people are as bothered about this aircraft if you're not a veteran flight simmer looking for the highest quality, if you're just happy with the A320NX, which is entirely understandable. Have run over a bit here, but let's get into the end now. So let me give you the rankings. I've got a few orders. I've got best value, my recommendation, and order of fidelity, as well as a bit of talk about the Fenix 320 and the 737-800 at the end. Starting off with best value, in my opinion, on this list at the moment, the best value item is the JustFlight BAe 146. You're getting plenty of variants, plenty of sub-variants, if I can say that, and overall you're getting an awesome aircraft. It's not completely finished yet, we're still waiting for a new FMC in there, but trust me, it's a great flying experience, a joy to fly by hand. Going over to my recommendation, I cannot recommend enough the 737-700. It is an awesome plane. I really do love it. The caveat here is that it is the 700 variant, and you may be waiting for the 800 variant. If you don't want to be buying something twice, then I'd say wait. Now I'm going to put them in order of fidelity. Now they're all pretty high fidelity, but at the bottom would be the BAe 146. It's not a bad plane, but it's missing some features, such as a completely realistic FMC. But to be fair, all airliners in this list are missing something, and they will be updated accordingly. In joint second, this kind of goes into predictions. I'd say the Fly the Mad Dog MD-80 and Boeing 737 by PMDG fall into joint second. I haven't tried the MD-80, so I can't exactly say, but definitely at the top, just from the things we've seen, the Fenix A320ceo has to go to the top. That may change, I might be completely wrong, but that's my prediction. The Fenix question is a big one. It's a bit of a wild card. It's from a company that's never released a product before. But just going off their Discord, it does seem very good, very legitimate, all of that stuff. So I do think that will do great. And £50 UK, although it's still very expensive, is a great deal in my opinion. What can you do if you want to save a bit of money and don't want to cash out £70 UK for any of these planes? Well, if you still want to buy a payware aircraft, you've got the 737-600 by PMDG coming down the line for a significantly cheaper price. The Fenix A320ceo could also be a good shout, because that's only 50 UK pounds, certainly not up to the $90 like the MD80 is. But there are of course some freeware alternatives, which I'll quickly go into now. You've got the fly-by-wire A320NX, which everyone knows about. I don't need to talk about much here, they've just done a great job. And you've got the headwind A330-900neo, which is a really fun plane to fly. Not highly detailed in regards to real life, but still a great plane to fly. If you're happy waiting a bit, keep your eye out for the Aerodynamics KC10/DC10. That's going to be a freeware plane and it looks awesome. There is plenty of free planes out there, as you know, but this one has focused more on payware. I hope it's helped you guys. Best value BAe 146, my recommendation, the 737-700 out of this list, I would say, although the Fenix A320 could very well change that. From me today, that is all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you haven't, be sure to like, comment and subscribe anyway. Check out my Amazon affiliate links down below for all the equipment I use to fly, film and edit, and go to pilotstud.co.uk to keep up with the YouTube channel and everything I do flight simulation related. From me today, I'll see you around. Apologies for the crickets in the background. Bye bye.